Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel, I share with you everything personal finance as well as lifestyle content in the form of vlogs. Today's video is a video that has been requested by one of you guys because on Sunday last week, like I shared lessons learned from the last 5 years that I have um, been on my financial journey. I have spoken a number of times about the fact that I have I built a 5 year plan back in 2020, and I have been working on that every single year. And 2025 is my year five. I got a comment where essentially there was a special request for me to do a session on goal setting for 5 years. And Maz, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, said, I'm struggling a bit with the thought process. Now, I don't know if I'm good at this or not, but I did want to share some tips. I think I would call them tips. I am going to potentially call this video your 5 year path to financial freedom. I've got a piece of paper here because you guys know I write everything down. And these notes came to me randomly as I sat down to reflect on the question and actually think about what I wanted to share with someone who is also on a financial journey or thinking about starting a financial journey and are just struggling with just the thought process of it. So I wrote down, I think 5 or 6 points here. One, two, three, four, five. And we'll make the sixth one like my bonus tip kind of thing. So I think we'll say 5 tips that I'm going to share in today's video. So without further ado, let us begin. Okay, so the first tip that I want to share with you is it is important for you to build the right systems. You know, when it comes to writing goals, and I'm starting from a point of someone who already knows what they want to work on. You know, like for example, for me, I already knew that I wanted to become the first millionaire in my family, and to do that, I needed to write down the goals exactly how I was going to achieve that over the next 5 years, and then build the systems that make things easier for me. Because, you know, when you have the right systems and tools in place, it truly helps you over the years as you run out of motivation. You know, once motivation wears off, it's so easy to just dump everything and forget the whole thing. It truly is so easy. Motivation can only take you so far. But if you have the right systems and tools in place, even when you're feeling down, even when you don't want to do anything, because you've got those systems and tools in place, things will still continue to happen in the background. And even when you're just like, you just need a break, they'll still be working in the background because those are the type of things that you've set up. Now, if we give myself as an example, when I knew that I wanted to build this financial future for myself, I say this in one of my videos that a lot of it when I was setting the goals was a lot of wishful thinking, but you really need to be a dreamer. I am called a July dreamer because I'm a big dreamer. Okay. And you really need to dream big and wild and then start working backwards and start breaking everything down. So you set yourself a 5 year plan. You say in year five, I want to be at this point. Then you start working backwards. What do you want to have accomplished in year four, in year three, in year two, in year one of starting your plan? Like that's how at least I did it. Now, I will admit, the first year was sheer will and power and systems. Once that kind of novelty wore off, I continued on because I had the systems. Some of the systems that I built were For example, setting an auto debit from my pay every single month to go into my investments as well as my saving. That is the system that I put in place. Just like I have auto pay for all of my bills, I don't even have to think about it. My mortgage just, my salary comes in, the mortgage goes out, and I have made it so that when it comes to things like my mortgage and my investments, these are taken a day or two after I get paid, not longer than that. Then the rest of my bills come out on the first of the month. So that is also something that I know works for me. I get paid in the middle of the month. The first things that come out is me paying my investments, my mortgage, and my debt. These are the things that I pay. And then I take out money for the bills that I know are coming up, about £1,000 for the first day of the new month. I put that money aside. Then what is left is what I play around with, living my best life or contributing extra towards my savings or paying down my debt. That's something that I put in place. I will kid you not, even though I'm a self motivated person, and I'm easily influenced, by the way. For some reason, I seem to have a knack to stick to things. My therapist probably has something to say about this, but I'm someone who, what did she say? Who loves to do hard things. I really enjoyed, and even at work, when people are panicking, they're stressing about A, B, C, D, I'm actually thriving. I'm actually okay. I know exactly what to do. I am opposite. I kind of panic when everything is going smoothly because I think part of me is just waiting for that shoe to drop kind of situation. So when it comes to like self motivation, like another example I can give you is I have been going to the gym. I started working with a wellness coach, virtual wellness coach, in October of 2023. I still go to the gym even now. All of last week, I did not work out because I've just not wanted to. And this week, I was just like, I'll just do my swimming. But I'm also someone who's like, no, I don't want to do it. And then before the day ends, I was just like, I just gotta do it, and I always feel better afterwards. So when it comes to my finances, for me, it has always been systems that have helped me in times of where motivation has worn off or I am struggling to actually keep going. So having the right systems and tools in place has really helped me. The second one that I've written here is having an accountability partner. When I joined the 5 a.m. club, it's in the UK, run by the Humble Penny here on YouTube. Um, I love the fact that I'm someone who naturally wakes up at 5 a.m. And during that period, I always say this, between 5 and 10 a.m., I am the most productive. I know these are my power hours. There are people who are more productive like at night. I'm not. I really love my sleep, so I know my productive hours and I try to do everything that I need to get accomplished in those productive hours. But I've also noticed that having an accountability partner, someone to help you stay on track, check in, motivate you, really really does help. I'm also someone, like I said, I'm self motivated, so on top of having an accountability partner, I also do personal check-ins. You guys watch all of my videos. I hope you watch my videos and you know that I talk about budgeting. I check my budget every single day. And this is not because I'm penny pinching, but because I like to see what's happening with my accounts. I spent so many years when I was at university ignoring my bank accounts because I did not want to know what was going on. I did not care that I was going overdraft. I did not care that I had debt. I just did not want to know. There was just a lot of anxiety attached to that. When I started working and I started working on when I started working after university and I started working on my finances to pay off the £12,000 that I came out of debt, I came out of university with, I was like, you know what? I can't keep hiding behind the, you know what, YOLO, which I have lived the emblem of YOLO for so long. I was like, no, I need to get serious about this, look at my finances and build a better future for myself and my family. So I started looking into it. So for me, it's very therapeutic to either at the beginning of the day middle of the day or end of the day, I will look into my finances to see what's happening. Early in the morning, because that's my power hour, I love to look at what has gone out the day before, you know, the morning of, and just see anything that I know is coming up, because sometimes I may need to move money around to make sure that an expected bill that is coming up is covered, for example. So that's why I love having these monthly check-ins. But having an accountability partner will really help you set you up for success, especially if you are both working for your own greater good. It really is, the best thing that I can advise someone, especially when you're struggling. Sometimes you just need to bounce ideas off the other person, and sometimes it will just take not even talking per se about your finances. It could be just like going for a walk with your friends, chatting about life, and that might invigorate you to get back into it. At least it has done for me, for sure. I must admit that I do not have a lot of people in my own life that I can speak to about the big visions that I have. But the accountability partner that I had from 5 a.m. Club, she really helped me see things a little bit differently and just understood like my point of view. And I love that. So you just need one person. It could be a mentor, or it could be an accountability partner. But that would be my second tip. My third tip is to understand and appreciate the fact that failure is part of the plan. Honestly, you need to expect setbacks, and you also need to plan for them. Now, when I started my 5 year plan, when I was writing it down, like I said, wishful thinking, I did not know exactly how I was going to accomplish this. Honestly, I did not know. I was just like, let's just start. That has been my motto in life. Just start, right? And then I realized I want to even say most of this realization that failure is part of the plan came in year 3 into year 4, when I felt like a failure. I think I made a video about this as well, because I kept thinking of the goals that I had initially planned that I did not accomplish and technically failed at. And I started beating myself down because of that, forgetting that I was still learning and growing. And failure was okay, because what's beautiful about failure is the fact that once you fail, you have an idea of what did not work. You have an idea of potentially what might work, and you try again. If you fail again, that's another path that you have learned. Okay, maybe I need to tweak it this way, maybe this won't work at all. So it is important to, I'm not saying you should be like, oh, I will fail. It's a beautiful thing to fail, get up and then dust it off and learn from that and continue on your journey. Okay. But I want to remind you that failure should always be part of your plan. It's also part of growth. You will fail at some point. The important thing is to learn from that failure and move on from it. So I hope that makes sense. I really do hope it makes sense. The fourth thing that I have here is, I wanted to call this evolution is inevitable. I felt like Thanos there, but I wrote evolving is inevitable. What is so important, like I said, once you fail, you have to learn from it. So you will pivot from the failure, you will either pivot to something else, or you will refine what you initially started, or and expand, not all, but and expand. Because once you failed, like I said, you get an idea of what actually doesn't work, or what you are good at, what will make work for you. I think it's so important to understand that as you work on your goals, you will evolve, your ideas will change. Again, giving myself as an example, when I started out in my planners, I wrote, I want to be a millionaire before I am 40. By the time I was entering, I think year 2 or year 3, I can't really remember, I realized that I was limiting myself. Why just say millionaire? Because in my mind, I was like, so what happens once you reach a million? Do you stop or do you continue? I was like, I would like to continue if I'm able to. So then I changed my plans and I was like, instead of just being a millionaire, I would like to be a multi-millionaire. Definitely want to be a millionaire before I'm 40. I'm currently 38. So I still have my 2 years to go, but my 5 year plan was ending at 38. And in that 5 year plan, I had planned that by year five, I would like to have a million in net worth. I'm not there yet. The plan is coming to an end. We're currently in November of 2025. Next month is the last month. I don't think I will be reaching that million in net worth next month, but that's okay. There's so many lessons that I've learned over the last 5 years. And I am excited to use them. And I've even decided to expand my 5 year plan and make it into a 10 year plan. And some of the differences, some of the lessons that I've learned is that I can't do it all by myself. So I hired a financial advisor to work with me on this because I have been able to bring myself so far. I have 1.2 million in assets. That's really great. I did not start with this, nor did I get a handout from my family. This is all from investing and hard work. Plus, also, I know that I am in a privileged position because, with my education, I've been exposed to people who are wealthier than me, and I am trying to learn from how they themselves or their parents got wealthy, and then I'm applying that. So I just want to say evolution is inevitable. Just like failure is part of the plan, know that you will evolve as you progress and maybe you change your mind. And I hope the mind shift and change will be even bigger and better than what you initially planned, not to give up. Okay, so that was the fourth one. Is it the third or the fourth? I can't really remember. My counting is so bad. I've done systems and tools, I've done accountability partner, I've done failure as part of the plan. Okay, so we were on the fourth one, which was evolving is inevitable. The fifth one that I currently have here on my list is you need to break down your goals into bite size and also create milestones for yourself. I am going to see when I'm editing this video if I can put on the screen my updated 5 year plan. When I started out, when I wrote down my 5 year plan and how I wanted to look like, it looked something like in my real estate, I wanted, including my current home, I wanted to add 3 more properties. And I wanted that to be, I want to say over a million in real estate. Then the next part of it was my retirement. I wanted to have 60K in my workplace retirement. I wanted to have, I believe, 25K in my ISA. And I want to say 15 to 20K in my savings. That was my original plan. And when I added all of these things up, to me, definitely was above a million. And I was like, yes, this is what I want to accomplish. This is what will help me become a millionaire. Then the following year one, I sat down. I was like, okay, you've got these great goals, but how exactly are you going to accomplish them over the next 5 years? Then I started breaking them down. And every single year, I took a chunk from my overall goals to help me with that goal. And so for my pension, I believe at that time, I want to say in 2020, my pension was about 9,000 from my previous employer and I had 2,000. So I had about 10, 12, 10, between 10 and 12,000 in my pension, my workplace pension. So I decided that for year one, I will be happy to be at 20. And I think I ended at 30. That was the first thing that I broke down that I wanted to be at 20K. Same thing with my ISA. I realized for me to be able to reach the 20K, I would need to, I think at that time I was at 10K. So I knew that I'll have to be contributing at least £250 every single month. So I made it happen within my budget. The second year, we moved on with um, adding another property to my rental portfolio. At this point in year two, I had my main home and one rental property. In year two, we added another rental property to the mix. So that was part of my plan to add another one and increase my pension. My savings, it was something that I was working on every single year, slowly but surely. And now I am at a point where I do have four properties, which was my original plan. My properties all add up to 1.2 million, part of my original plan. But that 1.2 million, what at the beginning I wasn't accounting for was the fact that that was only my assets, not exactly my net worth. But my original plan was with my real estate being 1.2 million, that should also equate to net worth. I didn't fully understand this. At the time of setting, I grew, I learned, I pivoted a little bit, I refined, and then expanded. So I hope this is making sense, but it's so important for you to break goals down. And it is important for you to break them down into bite size and also to have milestones. So important to have some milestones because sometimes you just need that little thing to help you feel, giddy. And for me, my milestones were things like reaching 100K in all of my investments by year four, because my overall goal was 125 by year five. I'm currently at 153 or 54 at the moment. Again, this is important. As you break them down, you achieve one goal, tick, you move on to the next. And before you know it, you can even start aiming higher. At least that's how it has worked out for me. The bonus tip or the final tip that I have here is you always have to remember your why. You have to remember your why because your why is your emotional connection to the plan, the journey that you are on. For me, my why is to provide for myself, for my future kids, for my parents, and hopefully my extended family as well. My siblings, for sure. So that is my why. Every single time I thought about giving up, I thought of the life that I want. I think I've mentioned on the channel before that I dream of having the entire month of August off just to be with my kids, do the most, enjoy the 6 weeks of summer and do absolutely nothing, and that not impact my finances in any shape or form. So I'm setting that foundation now to be able to enjoy that. Right now, I just take those 6 weeks across the year, but I wouldn't mind just using all of them up in August. And I know right now I can make it possible. 5 weeks of vacation and 1 week of unpaid vacation from work, I could take the whole of August off. I know that I can make that happen, but for now, I'm working hard with the current resources that I have to help me reach my goal faster. And then once the kids come into the picture, that's something that I can do without worrying about my finances. So that is the video, you guys. I feel like I've been talking for a while. I hope I'm in frame because I'm filming at the back of my iPhone 16 Pro Max. So I don't know if I'm in frame, but I hope I am. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything else that you would like for me to cover or share. But I can't believe that within, I think there's about 6 weeks left in the year, and that will be it for my 5-year plan. Honestly, when I set the whole plan at the beginning, the vision was very clear of what I wanted to accomplish. I just did not know how I was going to get there until I implemented what I've just shared with you. I literally had to be like, okay, I want to have this much in my workplace pension. How was I going to do that? I participated in employer scheme. That's another system and tool that I used. I contribute £100 every single month, and I increased it to £200 over the years to my SIP, helping me build that pot that I wanted for my workplace pension. I shared a video recently talking about how I have in my workplace pension now 100, I think at the time of filming this video, £101,000 in my workplace pension. That's a huge milestone. And remember, my original plan was only 60K. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy. And I hope this motivates even just one person. Don't give up. When motivation runs out, make sure your system and tools are there to help you. When you're feeling low and down, make sure you have an accountability partner who can help you with that. And sometimes, if you don't have an accountability partner, maybe a mentor. If you don't have a mentor, create routines where you're able to check in with your money every week, every month, or every quarter. It's up to you. I'm someone who, like I've said, who does it daily. Okay. Also remember that failure is part of the plan. Failure is part of the plan. Learn from it. Don't sit in the dumps with it. Learn from it. Also remember that evolution is inevitable. You will pivot. You will need to pivot. You have to redefine, and you have to expand. You have to remember all of this and make sure that you break all your big visions down into bite size to help you with your accomplishment. You guys have seen my Notion template where I have a big goal of 100K in all of my investments, and then I break it down for every quarter what I want to see. That's how I have done it. And then my final one is remember your why. Always remember your why. That is your emotional connection to the journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video real soon.